Steve Post here from Motor Racing Network at the Racing Electronics display number 4721 here at the PRI show. If you're in the area, stop by and say hey. Racing Electronics, of course, partner to so many series, including the car store, or should I say the ZMAX car store. We got to get used to saying that. Joining us now is the boss. I don't know what her title is, other than she does everything. Keeley Dubensky joins us. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you? Great to be here.
I am doing great. Keeley, I want to go back. You and Jack McDowell, I don't even know how long you've been with the car store, but you two, years and years ago, started this regional late model stock tour in North Carolina that has gone through the roof. What's your perspective on this? When did you get started? What's your perspective on where this thing has gone?
So this will be season number 6 for me. So I've been with Jack for a long time. He had Chris Regal with him for a few years before that, and then Chris had left. And so Jack didn't really have anybody that else was going to fill the shoes. So I was like, why don't you give me a shot at it? Like, you know, if I'm not very good at it, we'll bump me back and we'll find somebody else. But give me one shot to prove to you that I can be the director of operations here. He was like, okay. So that's what we did. And man, we got hit with COVID, tire shortages. It seemed like it was something every single year, a different challenge. So I mean, it's been a heck of a ride, I'll tell you that.
It really has, and she is a rock star. Director of operations. I don't know. Here's the thing. Here's the reality. When you mention the car store, you say get with Keeley. You don't get with the director of operations. You get with Keeley because she does you do everything. Keeley, when we look back at this thing, 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, 2022, Car Store gets an invite to go up to North Wilkesboro for that first race. Some guy by the name of Dale Earnhardt Jr. decides that he's going to run that race. What was that like, and did you realize what your life was going to be like after that?
No, I'll tell you, I knew it was going to change because as soon as, we were sitting in the office one day and Jack, you know how your phone says maybe somebody? Well, his phone said maybe Dale Earnhardt Jr. And he was like, Keeley, Dale's calling me. I'm like, what? So, you know, we got to talking about North Wilkesboro and we were like, we think we can actually revive this place. You know, let's give it a shot. Let's see what we can do. And everything changed after that. There was so many different eyes that were now on late model stock racing specifically. You know, we got to take the pros there as well, but it's just continued to grow from there, and we're getting people all the time calling in, hey, I'm on the West Coast, hey, I'm here, you know, where are you streaming? We're on Flow Racing, you're able to watch it on there, but we have these people traveling from California, from Canada, from all these different places to come and watch our races, which is something that we could have never even dreamed of when it was just Jack and I in the bonus room of his house.
We had Jack on last year, and this is Jack's baby, and Jack made the decision last year, at the end of the year, he had some suitors, some people that wanted to buy it. A guy by the name of Dale Earnhardt Jr., who we just referenced, Jeff Burton, part of the ownership group, Kevin Harvick, of course, part of the ownership group, and Justin Marks. What has that been like now as this new ownership group of NASCAR, Cup Series, Elite, Hall of Famers have taken over? What's that been like as director of operations?
So it's been really interesting. They all have such different personalities and different perspectives. So like where one is super strong, the other one, maybe that's not, you know, his main focus on the series. So it's honestly opening up different resources between the four of them. And then, you know, just everybody that has lent us a hand over at Junior Motorsports, you know, their marketing team helps us out a lot because, you know, it was just me and Jack so in his bonus room. So we're like, well, we're not quite sure how to take this to the next level. So just having all four of them involved and their expertise, they've been around the industry, you know, they're racers. So we're growing very quickly and they're able to kind of guide us through that growth.
So their first year as owners was 2023. You ended up with the All Quapples Championship. Carson and Caden won the championships, but just kind of assess, how did 2023 go on the racetrack, and how did 2023 go getting your new owners up to speed as well?
It went really well. So I would say that the most challenging part was probably trying to explain it to them because they weren't able to be at all of the races. So for them to be able to learn, but learn from back here was a little bit more difficult. So we were able to get them out to the track, you know, learning a little bit. The competitors, this is one thing that I really, really love, is that when those owners show up to the racetrack, they go into each competitor's pit area and speaks directly with them, one-on-one conversations, and goes through the entire pit area, all of them that have showed up. And that's something that's really special because our guys are able to, let them know what they're trying to do, where their strengths and the weaknesses are from their viewpoint within the series. So just kind of bringing us all together and bringing them into our little family has been kind of neat.
Really, really neat. Really, really neat as well. A couple of weeks ago, we were all invited out to Charlotte Motor Speedway for a press conference with the 4 principals. Keeley was there, Jack was there, and some drivers as well. Title sponsorship with ZMAX. Continued more involvement with Flow Racing. Is this just the natural progression now to the next step of the Cars Tour?
Yeah, I would say. So when we just started our first year with Flow Racing, I cannot say enough about those people. I mean, Chris McKee, Rob Blau, and Matt Dillner, I mean, they have taken our content to the next level, so being with them was something that was really important to us because in order to continue to grow this series, we have to bring in more partners, which you got to have the more eyeballs to get the more partners. So it just kind of naturally progressed that way. And, having ZMAX now on board as well, we've been getting to know those guys and girls over there, really, really invested in the series and trying to grow their own product as well. So it kind of works out for all of us where we're all in this stage of how do we take our product here. So we're all growing together.
All growing together, that's for sure. And how's it look on track? A big schedule lined up for you? I know there's some big dates coming up, that's for sure.
Yes, and we just announced that we're going to be celebrating our championship at North Wilkesboro Speedway with the Smart Tour. So we're going to bring in some modifieds with us. That will be super fun. Going to North Wilkesboro twice is going to be special. I think I'm most excited to be able to see the champions go up on the lift for their celebration. Yeah. So just kind of adds a little more pizzazz to us.
It really does, yeah. If you're not familiar, North Wilkesboro Victory Lane is on top of a building, the concession stand in the media center, and the cars go on a lift and ride up, and that has just been awesome. It's the way it was back in the 80s and 90s, and the way it'll be when the Cars Tour champion is crowned at the end of this year. Keeley, it's always fun to hang out with you. Appreciate the time. Thanks for the partnership, of course, with Racing Electronics, but always great to hang out and can't wait to see 2024.
Absolutely. We have a lot coming for y'all this next season, so I'm excited. Thanks for having me.
I am so excited, too. I'm in North Carolina based, okay? So when I get an off weekend from MRN, I like to go to my local racetrack, and it is so neat to go to a Cars Tour race. The racing is so good. The competitors are so good. Everything is so well done, and I'm just race fan Steve Post, let alone MRN Steve Post, loves what they're doing on the Cars Tour. Love their partners with Racing Electronics as well. That's Keeley Dubensky. Butchered it. Dubensky. I knew I was going to butcher it because it's Keeley. I didn't know she had a last name. Nobody knows you have a last name. It's Keeley from the Cars Tour joining us here in the Racing Electronics display.